Our today's story is about the concept of blind hiring, which is a method of recruitment. Lately, companies have been taking significant steps to reduce unconscious bias during candidate evaluations. And it's not just about concealing potential biased information from recruiters or adopting a no-see hiring approach. In a recent instance, a business consultancy based in the UAE partnered with a Brazilian blind hiring platform to take recruitment to the next level. They went to great lengths by concealing the candidate's face and altering their voice using voice masking technology. Remarkably, this firm proudly announced that they have successfully hired the world's first HR manager through this entirely blind hiring process. But how feasible is this extreme kind of blind hiring? Which multinationals have used such kind of hiring practices? What are the issues and challenges involved? Let's start getting into details of the concept of blind hiring in this session. Blind hiring is a recruitment and hiring practice designed to reduce bias in the hiring process and promote diversity and inclusion within an organization. It involves removing or minimizing identifiable information about job candidates that may lead to unconscious bias or discrimination, such as their name, the gender, age, ethnicity, and educational background. The goal of blind hiring is to evaluate candidates based solely on their skills, qualifications, and experiences rather than on personal characteristics that are unrelated to the job performance. A typical blind hiring process may involve the following. Number 1. Resume redaction. In a blind hiring process, resumes are often redacted to remove personal information such as names, addresses, and date of birth. This helps prevent unconscious bias associated with the candidate's identity. Number 2. Anonymous application process. Some companies use anonymous application processes where candidates are assigned unique identifiers or codes instead of using their names during the initial stages of the hiring process. Number 3. Skills assessments. Employers may use skill-based assessments, tests, or challenges that are directly related to the job to evaluate candidates. This allows candidates to demonstrate their abilities without relying on their personal background. Number 4. Structured interviews. When interviews are a part of the process, they are often structured with standardized questions asked of all candidates. This helps ensure consistency and fairness in evaluation. Fifth point, diverse interview panels. Companies may assemble diverse interview panels to reduce candidates. This may reduce bias by providing different perspectives and reducing the likelihood of bias related to a single interviewer's preferences. And number 6, implicit bias training. Employers often provide training to recruiters and hiring managers to raise awareness of unconscious bias and provide strategies to mitigate it. However, like any approach, it comes with both benefits and limitations. So let's first start with the benefits of blind hiring. Number 1, reduced bias. Blind hiring reduces the impact of unconscious bias in the hiring process as recruiters and hiring managers are less likely to be influenced by factors such as candidate's name, gender, age, or ethnicity. Number 2, promotion of diversity. By focusing on skills, qualifications, and experience rather than personal characteristics, blind hiring can lead to a more diverse candidate pool and workforce. It helps address underrepresentation and create a more inclusive workplace. Number 3, enhanced fairness. Blind hiring fosters a sense of fairness and transparency in the recruitment process as all candidates are evaluated based on consistent criteria regardless of their personal background. Number 4. Improved quality of hire. The emphasis on skills and qualifications mean that candidates are more likely to be selected based on their ability to perform the job effectively, potentially leading to higher quality hires. And number 5. Positive employer brand. Companies that implement blind hiring practices often gain a reputation for fairness and inclusivity, which can attract top talent and enhance their employer brand. And number 6. Legal compliance. Blind hiring can help organizations comply with anti-discrimination laws and regulations, reducing the risk of legal challenges related to bias in hiring. Blind hiring is not without its challenges. Some of its limitations include: number 1. Not applicable to all roles. Blind hiring may not be practical or effective for all job positions, especially those where personal attributes, cultural fit, or specific experiences are crucial. Number 2. Potential skill gaps. Relying solely on skills and qualifications may overlook candidates with unique perspectives and backgrounds that could benefit the organization. It could result in a narrow focus on technical skills at the expense of other valuable traits. Number 3. Inefficiency. An anonymization of resumes and applications could add complexity to the hiring process and may require additional time and resources for both candidates and recruiters. Number 4. Limited insight into soft skills. Blind hiring may struggle to assess important soft skills such as communication, teamwork, and interpersonal skills, which are often essential for success in many roles. Number 5. Resistance to change. Implementing blind hiring practices may face resistance from hiring managers and recruiters who are accustomed to traditional methods and may be skeptical of change. Number 6. Incomplete elimination of bias. While blind hiring reduces some forms of bias, it may not completely eliminate all biases in the hiring process. Bias can still emerge at later stages or through other means. And number 7. Challenges with evaluation. Blind hiring does not address how well candidates will fit into the company culture, which is a crucial consideration for many organizations. To address these limitations, some companies use a hybrid approach, combining blind hiring with other strategies like structured interviews, diversity training, and culture fit assessments to create a more comprehensive and balanced recruitment process. Ultimately, the effectiveness of blind hiring will depend on the specific goals and needs of the organization and the nature of the positions being filled. Several companies have implemented blind hiring practices or elements of it to reduce bias in their recruitment process. Here are some of the examples. Unilever uses a blind hiring approach by removing identifying information from the initial stages of the application process. This includes anonymizing resumes and applications to eliminate names, address, and other personal details. Further, they conduct structured interviews with standardized questions to ensure consistent evaluation criteria for all candidates. Deloitte has implemented blind resume screening, where recruiters initially review resumes with personal information removed. They focus on qualifications, experience, and skills. Deloitte also has diversity-focused initiatives and programs to promote a diverse and inclusive workforce alongside blind hiring practices. Blind. As the name suggests, Blind is an anonymous online platform where companies and job seekers can connect. Job seekers create profiles without revealing their names or photos, and companies post job postings anonymously. Cymatrix uses neuroscience-based games and assessments to evaluate candidates. These assessments are designed to measure cognitive and emotional traits removing the need for traditional resumes and interviews. Gap Jumpers focuses on skill-based assessments where candidates are given real-world challenges related to the job they are applying for. Candidates submit their solutions anonymously and their performance is evaluated based on the quality of their solutions. Vimeo. In the past, Vimeo conducted blind auditions for engineering roles. They asked candidates to complete coding exercises anonymously, removing names and other identifying information. This approach aimed to assess candidates purely on their technical skills. BBC. The BBC implemented anonymous applications by removing candidates' names, address, and other identifying information from the application forms to prevent unconscious bias during the initial screening. It's important to note that the specific methods and approaches used by these companies may have evolved or changed since my last update. Additionally, the effectiveness of blind hiring practices can vary, and organizations often combine them with other diversity and inclusion initiatives to create a more comprehensive approach to fair and inclusive hiring. Hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you.